Okay, I think everything's working over there. Hello, folks.
Always a buzz when it's working.
5 people watching.
What is today? Day is All Saints Day, right?
That's right.
No, it's
not?
not. That was yesterday.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I don't think today has anything particular.
Okay. Terry Burdick is watching, of course.
Well, we're happy that she's watching.
We are.
Always.
We are. I had seen another comment, but now it's gone. Yeah, who knows if we'll be able to see comments in real time. This has changed.
Again.
There. All right.
Yay.
Steve Allerton, hello.
Hey, Steve.
Sandy Parks, hello. All right. Hello, and welcome to another installment of our online Old Time Jam series. Hope everybody is doing really well. We're going to be playing in the key of D tonight. Beth's capo is going to be off the whole time. She's mostly going to be playing 1, 4, and 5 chords, D, G, and A, respectively.
And for the ones of you who haven't been with us before, this is an A for me.
One finger. Pretty easy to tell apart from the others.
Yeah.
Yep. And when she's playing additional chords beyond 1, 4, and 5, we'll talk about those. I'm going to be in standard GDAE tuning the whole time. And we're going to play a mixture of more familiar and less familiar tunes, starting with something hopefully more familiar to folks, but one we never get tired of, Johnny Don't Get Drunk.
Right.
I was a little surprised we hadn't put this on a previous jam list, but we haven't. Don't know who this is from the world.
All right. messed that one up a lot.
That's okay.
Because you go to that the 5 there when you least
the 4.
The 4,
yeah,
still not good.
Yeah, it's kind of an early 4 at the end of the part.
Very early 4, and I forget half the time to do that. So.
And I've actually heard the B part melody organized a little bit differently by some people. That's the way I always knew it. But I've sometimes heard phrase 1, phrase 2, and then phrase 1 repeating, and then an ending lick. And that would call for not such an early 4 chord, but I learned phrases 1 and 3 a little different from each other. Phrase 1, 2, 3, and that's the trick that goes with and calls for that unexpected 4 chord, but it's so nice that way, I think.
I have to get up for a minute.
Do you have an ill-fitting pick?
I have an ill-fitting pick.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever shown y'all what my pick situation looks like, just in case you're interested, but these are Dunlops, number 13, and this is a Blue Herco thumb pick, and unfortunately they stretch out.
Yes,
so,
you've been having that happen periodically lately, with the weather changing maybe.
In a big way.
All right, we'll get that back up and running shortly. Let's see if comments are displaying. Yes, they are. I'm so glad to see everyone out there. Hello. Alan and Ruth are tuning in from Oklahoma. Hello, friends. Alan has been providing fabulous tech support as Beth and I are trying to join the 21st century or something like that and move our archive jams over to YouTube. We'll talk about that plenty later on, but we couldn't have done it without Alan.
Absolutely could not have done it without Alan, and we really appreciate what he's done for us. And with saying that, what he's done for us is he's helped us clean up the YouTube videos, which we posted about it, but just to say we've got them up and running now on YouTube, and it's all 20 of our 4 years worth of these
20? Maybe 20. It's a little more than 20.
Is it more than 20?
Maybe 21 or 2, yeah.
21 or 2,
yeah.
And they're up now on YouTube, and tell them what the added advantage of the YouTube thing.
Well, there's so many advantages to YouTube. We'll keep doing the live streaming on Facebook because I think it's nice for catching people as they scroll by, in a way that YouTube probably wouldn't, live streaming directly there. But once we save the Facebook videos and upload them to my YouTube channel, we're able to index them with tune lists in the description for each video with clickable timestamps.
Yes.
So you don't have to listen to all this drivel. You can just go straight to the tune that you want. And, of course, for any non-live stream version of these jams, the pause and rewind buttons are there too.
I didn't know it was drivel. I thought it was idle chit-chat.
Well, that too. Depends on the definition, I suppose.
Anyway, whatever. For those of you wanting to get directly to the tune.
Yep, that's right.
You can do so on YouTube.
Yep. Just look for my YouTube channel, the Adam Hurt channel. It's got a picture of me. I think you'll recognize it. And it's got a lot of banjo stuff, but then it has a playlist with a picture of the both of us as the cover image. And that's all of our online jams from Facebook. This one, too, will go over there soon enough, as soon as we can manage. Terry hopes that she doesn't show up 5,000 times in the feed. That's hilarious.
So far, so good.
Yep. Rob Daves is out there. Hello.
Rob.
Jan Douglas. Hello.
Hey, Jan.
Ellen from Long Island.
Yay.
Hi, Ellen.
It was so nice to see you at the Jam Camp. I'm glad to see your name here. Adam and I did, since we've done our last online jam, we went to Jam Camp in Massachusetts.
Jam Camp North. So
Jam
much
Camp
fun.
North.
Y'all should put it on your calendars for next year.
Well, Ellen is on, and
Rosemary Phillips is on too.
Donna Feldman.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and it was just a lovely experience, and no teaching,
Right.
nothing. You just sat around and jammed, and it was great. We really had a good time, and jams of all levels.
Yep. Yep. If anyone in the comments wants to post what you loved about Jam Camp North so people can hear about it from perspectives other than ours, feel free. All right, time to play another tune. This is a beautiful one. I'm very excited about it. It's not very well known, but it should be better known. The tune is called Willow Creek. This is one that I've always associated with James Bryan. Bryan, who made a beautiful recording of it a long time ago. You can find that recording uploaded as an audio file to YouTube if you want to hear another take on the tune. Not too many people play it, but again, more I think should. It's from Alabama, where James Bryan is from too, but he didn't make it up. It was collected from an older fiddler there named Ralph Whited or Whitted, haven't heard that pronounced, don't exactly know how it should be, Whited, and you can hear that fiddler's old recording of it, a field recording thereof anyway, on the Slippery Hill website. But I think James Bryan just transported the tune, as he so often does, made it something new.
His trademark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch out, because the 2 8 parts don't start quite the same as each other. Willow Creek.
Yeah.
Do you like that one at all?
I like it.
All right.
I see we got some friends. I can see Jim
Yep.
Cooper and Rita.
Yep.
And
Lori from Greenleaf
Lori,
is there.
Joe Fishbine.
Yep. Andy Fugit from Indiana. Hello.
Yeah. So nice to see you guys.
All right.
More or less.
Jerry Shalotto. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Yay.
Hope school's going well.
Yep. Sue and Bruce from Toronto.
Hey, guys.
We love it when our friends from Canada tune in.
Yep.
Lots of nice feedback. Thanks all for checking in. It's so fun to see all the places that people are attending from.
Absolutely.
All right, I think in one of our early jams, we did a very common setting of Durang's Hornpipe. Does that seem right?
I think we did.
We did the regular
I think
one?
we did.
Yeah, there are lots of different Durang's Hornpipes.
Many
though.
Durangs.
We will hopefully be including more beyond this second version today. This one, though, is so different from any of the others that we've heard. We've taken to calling it by its own special title.
think we're the only ones.
No, we're not the only ones. We're not the only ones.
We didn't come up with it.
No, but I think we might have arrived at it independent of these others. We call it the Deranged Hornpipe. Deranged Hornpipe. This is from Jake Phelps of Kentucky. He was one of the many fiddlers from that state that Bruce Green visited and collected music from. And you can hear Bruce's field recording of Jake Phelps playing the tune on Slippery Hill. I have a theory that maybe Jake Phelps didn't mean for this melody to sound so different from the original melody, and that maybe his fingers were kind of falling in some odd places on the fingerboard, like so very sharp of certain notes that they sounded like different notes. But that's just my theory, and I may be totally wrong. I wish we could have heard a recording of Mr. Phelps earlier in his life. But in any case, the way that it has entered the canon, I think, is a really cool way and a really distinctively different way. So even though we're still playing in the key of D and using the usual 3 chords for that key, the A part of this tune, as you see, starts on the 4 chord. 4 chords. So it might make you think we've switched to G, but that part is going to resolve to D, and it's going to have an A chord in it. And G, A, and D chords would be kind of an odd sequence of chords, especially in that order, if we were really playing in the key of G. So just think of the A part as starting weirdly and then getting back to where you'd expect. The B part sounds quite ordinary, but don't think you can play your regular melody over this A part progression.
Also, because it ends up making the tune sound very modally and eerie and everything, you don't want to play it fast.
Right, we're going to play it on the slower side.
It's not like, say, the Galax version of Durang's Hornpipe. No,
we're not doing that at all. So just as a sample, just quick A part. Fairly normal B. A little different there. Repeat. Just like that. So as you can hear, the main theme that's so different from what I think we're expecting is this thing that alternates between an A note and a G note, and that's over Beth's G chord. Kind of anchors the A part, and then it shows up again near the middle of the B part, kind of echoing the other part. I think that's very cool, too. So let's just play it around a little faster than that, not hugely, though. Deranged Hornpipe. Hornpipe. Very interesting comment
From
just
Joe?
in. Well, earlier than that, from Sue
Susan.
in Toronto. I was asking Beth, I don't want you to see the comment yet.
Okay,
I'm going to
okay,
tell
okay.
everybody about it. I was asking Beth when we decided to put it on the list whether she remembered what had been our introduction to the tune.
And I
you
didn't
remember. And I reminded her that years ago at the Mount Airy Fiddlers Convention, probably 15 years ago, we learned it in a jam session. I was on the banjo, you were on the guitar, with Chirps Smith leading the tune on the fiddle, and Beverly Smith, no relation, also on the fiddle. And I don't know if Beverly knew it already or didn't. And because that was the context in which we learned it, for a long time, I assumed it was a Midwestern version of the tune, because Chirps pretty much plays Midwestern tunes. And I think maybe that was before Slippery Hill was up and running, or I didn't know to check it. So that was Sue's introduction to Deranged Hornpipe as well, Chirps Smith, sure enough.
How about that?
And then Joe from St. Paul says this version has become a regular tune in the Twin Cities old-time jams. Main difference is the second chord in the A part is an A chord, not a D chord. And yes, we have heard people chord it that way. I think when we play it with Steffi Coleman, she asks for more A chord and less D chord. We like a little bit sweeter sounding progression.
Or eerie. I think it's a little more eerie.
Yeah, a little
it goes
more
back to
eerie.
the D. But the interesting thing is we're not going to do it tonight. We might do it later when we do yet the third version of Durang's that we know. We actually have come up with a medley of Durangs and Durangs. So it's this version plus one that we learned from Rafe Stefanini. And do you know where it came from to begin with?
Yeah, the one that Rafe plays is an Emmett Lundy version with some adjustments.
But they go together.
They go together
They
really
go
nicely,
really-
and neither is the
and-
normal Durang.
Yeah, they're very strange. So we'll put that one in another jam and then remind you to try that.
Yes.
So.
Carla is tuning in as well, says hello
Hey,
from
Carla.
Spot and me. Spot likes the key of D so much he's barking along. Key of dog, apparently.
Key of dog.
Indeed. I love that.
That's funny. Hey, Jam.
Megan and Derek tuning in from Australia. Hello
right.
there.
right.
Tom T. Ball says about the Durang's hornpipe. Weird. You can say that again, Tom.
Indeed,
I wish you were here with your special 5-string bass. All right, let's play another tune. We've got one coming up with a common title, but it's a different melody than I've heard other source musicians put with this title. The title is Sally Ann Johnson, and our source is Henry Reed from Virginia. And the tune that he called Sally Ann Johnson might remind y'all a lot of that Twin Sisters family of tunes, most of which I think come from West Virginia, and they all go back to the Boys of Blue Hill from the Irish repertoire. The A part will remind you a whole lot of that tune family, almost the same thing, and then the B part is quite different.
The B part's very different, and you need to really pay attention. It has been screwing me up all week long.
Yes,
so
yes.
Hopefully it won't tonight.
You'll be fine. Just chord like Twin Sisters to the midpoint,
and then
be prepared for
pay
something
attention
else.
to the second part, which is different.
Yeah. What a pretty tune. We're going to repeat the B part. Not everyone does, but I think that'll be a little more predictable for folks. And I need to put in a plug for our good friend Pete Vigor, a fabulous old-time musician from Charlottesville, Virginia. He was the first person I heard play this tune. And I have since gone and checked out the Henry Reed recording, which is nice, and I got some good information off of it, but I don't think I would have gotten so excited about learning the tune if that had been my introduction to it. Pete recorded this tune with his wonderful band Uncle Henry's Favorites, and you can find that recording on YouTube as well, and it's just such a nice tune with that band. Ellen Vigor on the mandolin, driving it along, and Pete's fiddling is just terrific. We're getting ready to see those guys in just a couple of days, teaching at a music camp, a new music camp near Charlottesville that they're organizing. So, with thanks to Pete Vigor for turning us on to this nice Sally Ann Johnson tune.
first time this week?
It is just close enough to Twin Sisters that we keep wanting to lapse into it. We have to make sure we
That's
don't,
right. I wouldn't medley it with Twin Sisters.
No, very dangerous.
No.
Very dangerous. Hope y'all like that little tune. Marshall Wilburn tuning in. Hi, Marshall. Really looking forward to seeing you later this month. Uh-oh. Okay.
Here we go.
Can I hear your D chord, please?
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you.
For the next one that we're going to do while Adam's tuning is one that's a real favorite of mine right now, and you have some more things to say about it. I love this tune, and I'm so happy we're putting it in. And one thing you need to know is I'm going to have a different chord in this, and it's going to look. It's my B minor. We've talked about this before, but if you're new to it, what I do, literally, what I think about in my head is I do a B7 and then lift this finger. So do that, go into that position, lift that finger, and that's a B minor.
And you exclude the low E string.
Yeah, I play the A string down, and it's a lot more eerie and so on. And I'm also going to have an E minor in here, which is this.
Yeah, and we'll talk you through the progression shortly. Yeah. Okay. So those are the shapes you need in addition to 1, 4, and 5. Have y'all ever had that experience where maybe you've been listening to a recording a lot, or maybe you've been jamming a lot, and you've kind of got a new tune embedded in your head from listening or from playing along but not really learning the thing? That's key. More from listening than anything else. And you've got this tune so clearly in your head, you're able to work it out on your instrument from what's playing in your head. And then you go find, say, a recording of the tune or get ready to play it at the next jam, and you discover that you worked it out based on what was in your head in the wrong key. That happens to me from time to time. And usually it becomes clear when I try playing the tune in the wrong key that, oh, that's awkward. It'd be a little easier in this other key. And sure enough, that key is the one that people play it in.
That's happened to me as a singer.
You've learned things in the wrong key without meaning to transpose them. Yeah, it happens. So that's what happened with this next tune. But come to find out, I think it's a lot nicer to play in the wrong key, and it's way nicer to play in the wrong key on the banjo. The tune is Adrian's Hornpipe. Adrian's Hornpipe. This comes, best I can determine, from Bob Walters, but it might have been more widespread than that in the Missouri part of the world. Bob Walters, and everybody who plays it after Bob Walters, plays it in G. But I just had the melody in my mind, and I was working it out. Maybe I even started it on the banjo. I don't remember. I was working it out where it made logistical sense to me, and that was D. And we've left it in D ever since, and we've played it in jams with banjo players in D who know the tune, not naming any names.
Oh, I'm going to name a name.
And those people have been able to play along just fine. They balk a little bit.
Those people who were friends with Steve Arkin can just imagine what he had to say about it immediately.
I think he did not approve.
I don't believe he approved it.
No.
But anyway.
And now, the chord progression that we've heard people in the Midwest play when this tune is in G is just with the usual 1, 4, and 5, but we worked together on this little bit more colorful chord progression, and I figure since we're taking such liberties with the tune already, putting it in a different key, we can take some liberties with the harmonic qualities of it. But if you're already familiar with Adrian's Hornpipe, just let the shape of that melody guide you through it in the different key. I didn't endeavor to change the melody or the rhythm at all. So, just going very slowly through so you can get to know the melody. The melody is a little bit complex if you haven't heard it before. The A part is going to have both of the minors, right? part, so it doesn't have the 4 chord. It has 1, it has 6 minor, it has 2 minor, and it has 5. And for structure on the melody instruments, we have a first phrase, a second phrase different from that. Then, as so often happens, the first phrase repeats verbatim. And the final phrase kind of references the second phrase and then resolves differently. All right, let's do the B part. Structurally the same as the A. The chords are simpler, just 1, 4, and 5 in this one. My first and third phrases are the same as each other. Phrase 2 leaves us hanging a bit and sends us right back into a repeat of phrase 1. Final phrase starts like phrase 2 and then resolves differently. So, very little unique content in the scheme of things. Let's play it around a bit. A little faster than that, but not incredibly. corrupted in the wrong key with the wrong chords, but we like it that way, and we hope you do too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Andy Fugit likes the chords.
So good.
All right. Terrific. You can see why Beth likes this one.
Uh-huh.
Yes, indeed.
It's a lot of fun
Yeah.
to play.
And kind of like with Willow Creek, I mean, no slight against the earlier fiddlers who recorded these things, but if my introduction to that tune had been specifically the Bob Walters recording, I think I could have appreciated the good fiddling. He was a very good fiddler, and I could have appreciated that it was kind of a quintessential Midwestern tune, but I don't know that I would have been driven to learn it. I wish I knew where I first encountered the tune, but it certainly entered my memory and came out a different sort of way.
Somebody play it a while back, and it got very interested in
Okay.
it, but it's been a long time.
Well, and I guess this is a clear sign that I do not have perfect pitch. As much as I like to work to get instruments in tune, I couldn't tell that that root note I had in my head should have been a G and wasn't, in fact, a D. Oh well. All right, let's enter more familiar tune territory, and we'll send this next one out to our good friend Kathy Fink, one of my banjo heroes. And for her, this has been a signature tune as long as I've known her.
Yeah,
I can't remember whether she recorded this on Banjo Haiku or anything else, but it seems like she always calls it when we're in D jams together.
And I never learned it before.
No.
Before Kathy showed it to us, so I like it a lot. I think it's a very happy tune.
The tune is Briarpicker Brown. That's one of those that I think used to be very common and then kind of fell out of favor. I don't know where it's from. If anybody knows in the comments, let us know.
You know, let me know if it's one that you've known for a long time or if it's new to you.
All right, Briarpicker Brown. We've really been enjoying this one lately, and I hope you will too. All old things are new again.
That's right.
right?
Always. That'll be the case for the next one.
I have to be careful to not play Willow Creek, and I was about to. All right. Yeah, Briarpicker Brown. Love that. Sue from Toronto has a good source, and this suddenly makes a lot of sense. She says Briarpicker Brown came from Buddy Thomas. And you know what Kathy's other go-to tune in a D jam on banjo is? Martha Campbell, also from Buddy Thomas. Coincidence? I bet not. I'll have to ask Kathy if she has focused on Buddy Thomas's fiddling. I think she plays both of these on the fiddle as well. All right. Tony from Long Island says they play Briarpicker Brown around there. She would like to bring it back. Yes, yes, indeed. I was taken aback by Marshall's comment. I guess this is in reference to Adrian's hornpipe. Marshall Wilburn, IBMA Bass Player of the Year, says
4 times.
I do love corruption in moderation. That's hilarious. I might have to write that one down.
That's great.
Especially associated with Marshall Wilburn, one of the most reasonable people on the
face of the earth. Yeah.
Hilarious. All right, we're going to stick with familiar material for one more number here. Go ahead.
I teased Adam to no end.
Yeah, I was hoping you would tell this anecdote.
How long? 10 years ago or so?
Maybe longer than that.
Something like that. I got home from work and he says, I've learned just the best new tune. We've got to sit down and work on it right now. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be something very obscure. And I said, well, what's the name of it? And he said, West Fork Gals. And I'm like, really? And he'd never heard it. It was all new to him.
It was. And it's such a great tune, don't you think? Those of you who know it.
Didn't it come from the young fogey was Fuzzy Mountain?
Maybe. I don't know. Because see, that band and both of those bands and their recordings weren't on my radar. They came around a little too early for me, I think. Yeah.
Rafe is watching, he can tell us.
Hi, Rafe.
Hey, Rafe.
Wish you were here with your banjo or your fiddle. One. Or just your winning personality. That would be plenty.
We were talking about you earlier, actually.
That's right.
But anyway, where is it from?
If anyone knows a primary source for West Fork Gals, we'd love to know it. We've just learned it through the grapevine. Like some of those other chestnut tunes.
It was one that I learned within my first couple of years.
Is that right?
Playing,
okay.
I played all the time.
So it really was an old favorite for you. Well, I think it's just got everything a tune needs. So no wonder I got excited about it, even if I was Johnny Come Lately.
Ain't that a tune as well now?
Johnny Come Along.
Johnny Come Along, yes.
Oh, Rafe, hello, thank you, says West Fork Gals comes from Wilson Douglas.
Well, how about that?
Beth knew Wilson Douglas.
I did. He called me Bev.
He called you Bev. B-E-V.
B-E-V, Bev.
Close, but not quite. long A chord in the B part. It just sits there so long, and it's so dramatic. I loved what you were doing, especially the last time, just hanging on the A string.
That's
nice.
Means you don't learn as much.
I guess.
I reckon.
All right.
So, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Sue from Toronto says, "Oh no, this live video has ended and you are gone. It's 8 o'clock. But other people say they're still getting it, I guess. Sue, hope you can sign back in." Goodness.
It's not good.
Okay, I'm not
What's
seeing...
Alan saying? Oh, Buddy Thomas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not seeing anybody else who has lost the feed. Sorry, Sue, if you don't get back on, hopefully you can catch the replay. It says on the phone there that we're still live.
So the next one we got from, we almost always have something from these folks in one of our jams.
Yes. Tricia Spencer and Howard Raines. And aren't we all grateful to them for bringing so many wonderful tunes into the canon?
Absolutely.
I think we never would have heard any other way. This is just one of them, and it's kind of our latest obsession from their repertoire. Mississippi Snagboat, not Mississippi Sawyer. Mississippi Snagboat.
Mississippi Palisades.
Yeah, not that either. Speaking of chirps earlier.
Right.
And this is a little bit of a stately tune,
yeah,
so we won't
kind
play
of delicate.
too fast.
It's kind of a delicate tune.
Yeah.
Snagboat.
Yeah, isn't that a pretty one?
Our clock stopped.
I know, I noticed that earlier. We always bring a little clock in here so that we're not having to click devices to find out how we're doing on time, and our clock stopped after 34 minutes of jamming. And I kept looking over there and thinking,
We've
boy,
gone longer than that.
yeah,
All right. So,
this must set a record for the shortest one of these jams, but maybe not.
So before we even talk about this one, I wanted to tell my friend Rita, who is, I think, still on.
Yeah, Rita Scott is watching.
That I think I taught the wrong chords to this
Uh-oh.
to you when I was at your house.
Uh-oh.
Apologize, and I'm not 100% sure I had the melody right either.
Uh-oh.
But Adam straightened me out,
Did
so
I?
forget all that stuff I showed you, and let's go with this.
Well, there's so many different ways to chord this type of tune.
Yeah.
Who knows what is right? Let me get in better tune, and then I'll talk some about it. Thank you. The tune in question is called Half Irish. Half Irish. This is a Snake Chapman tune. And it's one of those that are comparatively uncommon, kind of a D modal thing, a D tune with a lot of C chord in it, potentially, and a lot of C natural note in the melody. More often, that modal tune type goes over in the key of A.
So it's kind of in the same ballpark as like Valley Forge.
Right.
And
that's probably the best known D tune that has that harmonic sensibility to it.
Yeah.
And I've heard people put a lot of C chord in it. I'm not sure I've heard people put no C chord.
I think when I was showing Rita, I put a lot
in
of C
it.
in it. Yeah.
And we've sort of settled on it's a 3-part tune.
Had them weeded out some of
Well,
those C's.
maybe. You're still going to do a lot of C chord in the A part, and you're going to do a little bit of it at the end of the C part, but not in the B part. And there's no 4 chord in here at all. What a cool tune it is, and it really doesn't sound like anything
It's a
else.
1, a 4.
4? You sure about that?
7,
Uh-huh.
and a 4.
Nope.
5.
Yep. We're still working on
Still working on the numbers.
More important than you know the correct chord to play, and you play it. All right. 3 parts. Count 'em. Half Irish.
Whee!
You like that one? I
thinking,
feel like we've been hearing it around a lot the past couple festival and camp seasons.
I was thinking about Sandy Parks. That seems to me a really good one for the banjo uke.
Yeah.
Really, really good for that rhythm.
I bet so. I bet so. All right. Rita says woohoo. Hi, Rita. So glad you're there. Wish you were here with your fiddle. All right, we've got a couple more numbers. Before we get into the next tune, especially since we've only mentioned it the once and it was pretty early on, I want to share again about how to find our old online old-time jams, because Facebook no longer archives them indefinitely. And fortunately, it let us know this in enough time that we could save all of the old files and figure out a new plan for them. As of just not even 2 weeks ago, I think, we have unveiled our new YouTube playlist of all of the archived online old-time jams that we've done on Facebook since 2021.
I think with adding, once we add these, which will take a couple of weeks to it, I think we'll have nearly 225 tunes.
I think we have more than that.
Really?
I was counting for another purpose. I think we're around 250.
250.
Yeah,
That's a
maybe
lot of
260.
tunes.
Yes.
A lot
And
of
we keep
tunes.
worrying that we're running out and we're going to have to learn a bunch more or replay a bunch, but not yet. We have more up our sleeves. We really do. But it's going to be so nice to navigate these old sessions on YouTube rather than looking through my Facebook photo albums and trying to find the one you're looking for, because we've been able to put the date, the original broadcast date, that is, in the title. And better than that, we have in the description for each video a tune list with clickable timestamps for each title, so that'll take you to the top of each tune and you don't have to listen to the commentary unless you just want to. And of course you have the pause and rewind button and the YouTube speed control. So if you want to slow things down and really learn some of these tunes and put them under the microscope rather than just play along, you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, and that was one of our original goals, was to give people a way to learn tunes if you don't have a jam nearby.
Yeah, absolutely. So look for my YouTube channel. You'll see my name and my picture on it, and you'll see a playlist. And I think it's the only playlist I have in there.
What I ran into, though, when I went to it the first time, and your CDs come up first. The CDs come up first.
Ignore the YouTube channel that says Adam Heard Topic. That's something that I have no control over, and it's got audio files from commercial CD releases. So look for my actual channel, the one that I maintain and post things to periodically. You'll find our jam playlist, and we hope you'll enjoy them. We will add this jam to the playlist before Facebook takes it down. It now leaves things up for a month, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we should have it up before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, definitely.
And and once again, if anybody wants I will update it. And if you want a copy of the, I keep a spreadsheet of the tunes that we've done, and the title, the key, when we did them, and if there's a theme, to it. So if you just drop me a message on Facebook, send it to me in Messenger, just ask for it. I'll send you a copy of that file.
Yep. Or message me if you and Beth aren't connected yet. Okay, we're going to do a tune that's fairly new to us. Anybody out there listening to, loving, and learning from the
Kettlebog.
Yes, thank you. The Kettlebog album released this spring by Chirps Smith, the aforementioned.
Chirps is big.
Yes, AJ Strubus and company. Just fabulous collection of largely, but maybe not completely, Midwestern tunes recorded in a big band setting with two fiddles all the way through, with a bluegrass style banjo, which I just love, with guitar, bass, and piano, which I also just love.
I think we should name the other people. So on the guitar is my guitar hero, one of my guitar heroes, Jim Nelson, and Dito Norris on keyboards, and David Robinson on the bluegrass banjo.
That's right. So get it if you don't already have it. I'm not sure there's a physical version. Oh, Rena Rossi
Rena
on the bass,
Rossi
of
on the
course.
bass, yeah.
We got our copy on Bandcamp, and I play it through the Bandcamp app.
Mm-hmm.
But unless there's somewhere there that I haven't discovered, the Bandcamp version does not have liner notes. So all we have are titles, and I would love to know where this tune comes from with a very familiar title, but a not familiar sound. This is called 5 Miles Out of Town. Not to be confused with 5 Miles from Town, that Clyde Davenport tune that everybody plays. This sounds very Midwestern. It's square. It doesn't have any minor chord. It kind of goes where you expect. It's a little fancy, but it's just a great tune.
Exactly where you
Well, I don't know.
Mostly, but not entirely.
Why don't we go over it slowly, because the melody is kind of fancy. Yeah, a little bit tricky maybe. I mean, they're both like the typical Midwest chord progression, but the 5 chord comes at a different time.
Very
between
different
the two
time
parts.
than what you expect.
And for fiddlers, I think a section of the B part sounds a lot harder than it is, and I want to show you a little cheat that I figured out. Well, it's not a cheat. These are the notes. They just sound harder than this. The beginning of the next phrase. So I'm alternating a fingered note and an open E string. And the fingered notes themselves alternate. So it's G to E, B to E, G to E. And then the phrase resolves in a more conventional way. And you can slur those notes together if that helps you, because they're all on the same string, no string crossings to worry about. And once I realized that the melody was all on one string and followed a certain pattern, it was so much easier for me to actually get through it. 5 Miles Out of Town.
nice recording too, if y'all are looking. Even includes polka music.
And some of those tunes are really fun,
Oh,
too,
yeah.
even if you encourage me to not learn some of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Susan Sterngold chimed in. Kettlebog has been living in our CD player. It's great.
It is.
Sure
It's a
enough.
great CD.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're looking for...
Judy Muldauer thanks us for the YouTube channel. Sandy Park said that Half Irish is a lot of fun on the banjo,
That's what I
as you
thought.
suspected.
I suspected.
All right, we are getting ready for our last number of the evening, and in typical form, thanks to Lori Woods' encouragement especially, it's going to be a waltz. We've enjoyed growing our list of waltz repertoire since doing these jams for sure. Before we play the last waltz, I want to direct folks who are interested to the tip jar links, which I have pinned to the comment thread. Feel free, don't feel obligated though. We just always put those there. And we hope you'll join us again as we keep these going.
We're thinking we're going to do one more before the end of the year, probably right after Christmas.
I think right after Christmas.
Right after Christmas.
Yeah. Stay tuned, and we'll advertise it on Facebook a week or so in
And we may
advance.
play Breaking Up Christmas yet again.
Yeah, Breaking Up Christmas we've played in more than one of these jams, and that
we
would
might
be
do it again.
kind of appropriate,
We might do it
wouldn't it?
again,
Yes.
So.
Thinking of Round Peak tunes, Breaking Up Christmas, this Peekaboo Waltz that we're going to do, I learned for a Round Peak themed jam that we had to do earlier this year, and I guess you sort of learned it with me, but did you already know it?
I knew it
You
from
already knew it
the
from a long time ago?
fuzzies.
Okay, and my understanding is that this
or somebody like
is a Round Peak tune, or at least it's one that the Round Peakers played, but I have not found a recording of Round Peakers playing it. Now, full disclosure, I haven't gone looking for a recording of Round Peakers playing it, but I'm trying to play it with a little bit of the texture of the Round Peak fiddlers, so hopefully you'll hear some of that and some of myself in it. If you don't know the Peekaboo Waltz, or if you're not sure you know the Peekaboo Waltz, you might know another tune that'll give you everything you need to play the Peekaboo Waltz. The melody and the chord progression are the same as Green Willis, just in a different time signature. So if you turn Green Willis into a waltz, you've got it. And you know, that has happened elsewhere in the canon. The Chapel Hill Serenade, so-called, is that same melody and chord progression done as a jig. 6/8 time. Hilarious, I think.
I think maybe one of our future waltzes may be one of those morphs.
Yeah, maybe something that has morphed from another time signature. Yes.
We haven't done yet.
Right. I know the one you have in mind, and I think that'd be great to try. So the Peekaboo Waltz, hope you enjoy it, and thanks again for being there, tuning in, hopefully playing along.
We really appreciate y'all being there, and we appreciate the comments and the camaraderie. It's almost like being in the same room as best we can make it happen.
Feels like a little party right here.
Yeah, and it makes us feel good to see our folks that we care about.
That's right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You know, I guess one sign that maybe started life in a different time signature is how it seems to have to go faster than a normal waltz would to hold together.
Almost more like a two-step.
Yeah, I bet in Round Peak,
It
that's
is a
what the
two-step,
dancers would have done
I
with
would
it.
think,
That
yeah.
funny two-step thing that doesn't really quite add up to 3 beats.
It's
But
fun
tends to
to
go
watch.
with 3,
It
4
is so
time
fun.
signature tunes.
So fun to watch.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Thanks for being here, everybody. Hope you had as much fun as we did.
We appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving. And
Yes.
we'll see you again before the end of the holiday.
Yes, indeed. Keep in touch. Bye.